Yes, you have found your dream house. Now let's make sure you have that perfect offer. So in this video, we will discuss the components of an offer, the contingencies you can commonly have, and things that will affect those offer and contingencies depending on the market situation. This is Gary, your local realtor that aims to teach you everything I can about buying and selling real estate in the great state of New York. So like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on the constantly changing real estate market. The offer makes or breaks your chance of getting that dream house. In a competitive market, every second counts, especially in New York. A seller will typically see a scale of offers, all the way from the lower end, which I label as red, for the ones they don't even consider, and all the way to the higher end, which is the green, one that they will most likely choose. So you would want to see where you want to put that initial offer, and this is something that will shift depending on the market situation. Offer are broken down into three separate things. The first one is the offer price. This is the price you're going to offer with how much you're going to be putting down, your deposit, and basically how much you will be having at closing. So all of that is one initial number that you should figure out for yourself. The second component is the contingencies that you'll add. We'll dig deeper into this later in the video, but this is something that can heavily impact how your offer is viewed by the seller. And third is the closing date, something that you will need to decide for yourself when you are able to proactively be able to close on this property. So when you are submitting an offer, there are a few things you should have prepared that you should attach to your offer. You should prepare a proof of funds. So this is all your bank statements that really should add up to how much you're putting down for your offer. And if you're using a mortgage, this will be how much you'll be utilizing for your down payment and deposit amount. The total should be a little bit more considering the closing cost that is associated with the purchase of a house. So if you are using a mortgage, every seller will want to see a pre-approval to make sure that you are pre-qualified to even afford the house that you're aiming to purchase. The offer price is a number that really determines how you are viewed by the seller. And this is a number that once they see, if it's too low, they won't even consider what else you have within your offer. The easiest method is to work with a real estate agent that can provide you comps that are within the past 6 months and within half a mile of the local property with the same building style and room number and bath number if possible. So getting all those comps will help you make the best estimate of what you believe the house is worth and more likely what you're willing to offer for the property. After you have decided on that initial offer amount, you need to think about what contingencies you want to add to your offer. So contingencies are the conditions that must be met for the sale to proceed. So they protect you as a buyer, and it really gives you that opportunity to back out of the deal if certain conditions are not met. So I think for you as a buyer, you need to think about each of these contingencies as layers of protection protecting you. And these layers are things that the seller will need to break through just to make sure that they can hand you your dream house's keys. So you need to be aware of what to include in your local market. Adding too many or too little contingencies will really impact your offer. So the first contingency is a financing contingency. So this is something that you would typically have when you have a mortgage. So when you have a mortgage, you need to make sure the mortgage lender approves of your purchase of the house. The second contingency that a lot of buyers use if they're using a mortgage is the appraisal contingency. So this contingency ensures that the home is appraised for at least the purchase price. If the appraisal comes lower than what you aim to purchase a house at, this allows you to renegotiate or back out of the deal. The third most common contingency is the inspection contingency. This contingency allows you to hire a professional home inspector that will really let you understand the home's condition, and if there's any significant issues that they find during the home inspection, this really allows you to renegotiate the price of the home. The fourth most common contingency is a title contingency. This is a contingency that a lot of lawyers will want to see on the contract. This contingency ensures that the seller has clear title to the property and can legally sell it to you. So if there's any problem that will impact this title, the seller will need to address them or really give you the option to back out of the deal. So those four are the most common contingencies, but those are not the only ones out there. And be sure to discuss with your agent to really see what other options are and see what will work best for your situation in your local market. As everything will change depending on where you live, and every deal is unique. And depending on the market situation, you will sometimes have more contingencies if this is a buyer's market. But if it's a seller's market, you might have a higher price and less contingencies. When choosing a closing date, you need to think about what works for your situation. If you're doing an all cash offer, you will more likely be able to close a lot faster than somebody utilizing a mortgage. If somebody utilizes a mortgage, they're commonly able to close within 45 to 90 days, depending on the situation. So, a few quick tips. So, first, you really need to follow closely with the listing agent and the seller. If there are a lot of offers that you really expect the seller to have, you you want to try to dig for more information, like the type of offers, potentially the number of offers, and what contingencies they might have. The more information you have about the other offers, this way it will allow you to really see what you can do to make your offer stand out from the rest. So step two, really know your budget and really stick to it. There are a lot of houses out there, but that doesn't mean you need to buy it. And if you do see a dream house, you need to think about what is your max price you're willing to pay for it. So tip three, don't be emotional, but be as subjective as possible during this process. Being emotional will cause you to make a lot of rash decisions. And this will really negatively impact you once you go down and really own that house and really start seeing the different things you should have considered during the process. Remember, if you're not able to get your offer accepted, it's really not the end of the world. There are a lot of houses out there, and it really depends on what your current timeline is. In New York, a lot of buyers outcompete each other with the pricing, but sometimes it's not dependent on the price, but dependent on the contingencies you add. So you can always try to see what works best for your situation and try to balance it out to make sure your offer stands out from the rest. So thank you for watching and happy house hunting. So see you in your next video when you get your offer accepted.